Yo, spare change. When's the 2020 theater tour? Listen, I think now's about the right time to do it. All right, so you guys have already seen the last tour that I did last year. Now we're gonna do the new tour for this year, which is now at the end of 2020. So let's go over the stuff that we've seen already really quick. This is the poster frame, which you guys already saw from last year. Actually the same poster. I was gonna go for like a Star Wars motif this year in this video, but my Rogue One poster wasn't delivered on time, so I couldn't switch this out, so I still got the DC poster. I was gonna match this with the video up top there, which is a Star Wars movie, but I couldn't do it. But what we have now are the new helmets up top here. We still got the lightsaber from Return of the Jedi. We do have Darth Vader. This is from the Hasbro Black Series. Next to that, another new addition is the Boba Fett helmet, also from the Hasbro Black Series. Both these helmets, I think they were like $99 or something like that. From I think I bought them from Best Buy actually. You can also get them on Amazon for pretty cheap, so like 99, 120 bucks, whatever. Next up is of course the popcorn machine again. This is a Northern something that I bought from Amazon for like 150 bucks. Still the same, this is still here. This is my collection of 3D glasses. I am a big 3D fan. A lot of my friends are 3D fans. Rogue One was also in 3D. If you haven't seen that review, check it out, it's on the channel. So these are 3D glasses from Expand. Great glasses, better than the JVC ones, which are made for the projector that I have, which is JVC. What we didn't show last year was the little concession stand area. I mean, we showed the popcorn machine, but we didn't show the candy rack. So this is the candy rack. Fully stocked right now. We got the Swedish Fish, we got the Reese's, we got the Mike and Ike's, Charleston Chews. These are my extra popcorn buckets. You can get these guys, I think, for like a pack of like 100 or something like that for like $25. I'll be sure to put the links in the video description if you guys want to pick that up. This rack is actually an audio rack. It's a SANUS audio rack. I think it's a 24U height one. I mean, if it looks familiar to you, these are actually, you can pop these shelves out, put your audio equipment in there with the rack mounts. That's what that is. I ran out of space, so I just repurposed that for a candy rack. Of course, we have the little candy toppings. I got these little dealies here. These are little Colonel Seasons. That's like bacon cheddar. Don't buy that one, it's disgusting. We've got garlic parm, and then we got a bunch of other assorted flavors there. Going back to the popcorn machine, if you do want to get theater accurate popcorn, I think I mentioned this last year. FLAVACOL is the secret ingredient to give it that salty flavor, salty theater flavor. Like one little half a tablespoon is gonna work wonders in your popcorn. It's gonna taste exactly like that salty flavor that you get at the theater. This is the actual butter topping that you get at your theater, at least at my local theater, which is Luana topping oil. I do have it in a little spigot here, but you can warm it up if you want to put it in like a, I don't know, like a pot or something like that. Or if you have a butter warmer, you could throw this butter in there, warm it up. But you know, listen, I don't have that. I can't afford it. I don't have space for a butter warmer, so I just squeeze it in there just like that. As for popping oil, I've got this here. This is just, I don't know who makes this popping oil, but it's coconut popping oil. This is what gives your popcorn that yellow color, that light coconut taste that you get at the theater. So that's gonna give your popcorn that specific yellow color that you see at your movie theater. This is, these are just some Star Wars cups that I got when I saw The Last Jedi, everyone's favorite Star Wars movie. I keep my kernels in here, which is my R2-D2 popcorn bucket. Bam, right there. Whenever I need popcorn, I go straight to the R2 bucket. Listen, a couple scoops in the popcorn machine. Half tablespoon of FLAVACOL. That's it, you're done. Like 5 minutes later, you're done. Next to that, I've got the Harmony Elite remote control. This has been a mainstay in the theater for couple of years now. I haven't used this actually in probably about 4 months because I have moved on to a new remote solution, which is very affordable, a lot affordable than this, which we'll get to when we go into the theater. But that is here, that's always charging. I use that as a backup. If something fails, I can always come back out here and just grab that, and it does work. Now below this whole concession stand area here, next to the candy machine, next to the candy compartment area, we got the mini fridge. The mini fridge is now stocked. We're going Post Malone style. We're doing all Bud Lights here. This is Bud Lime. Listen, don't judge me. I like Bud Limes. It's a light flavor. It's not heavy. We got for the females in the friend group, we got the truly black cherry, and then we also got the Budweiser Platinums. All right, we got the Budweiser Platinums, and then we also got some IPA down there. If you don't want to drink, we got some LaCroix. Check it. We got some LaCroix. I think it's like blackberry flavor, cherry blackberry. Got that down there as well. So you don't have to drink alcohol in my place. We got many different options of beverages, which is right there in the mini fridge. I picked up the mini fridge at Home Depot. It was something like $80. So very affordable, and it fits perfectly. It matched perfectly with my 24U height SANUS rack. So check it out, perfectly matched height-wise. So that really worked out well. I didn't plan it to be that way, it just happened to work out well. And the countertop also picked it up at Home Depot as well. Moving on to the TV, I still have the Sony A9G, OLED TV, Android powered. It was the best TV for like 2019. We don't use it that much. We actually don't even come in this room that much, but it's here if you wanna, watch YouTube or something like that. It's there. Great TV. Highly, I think it's pretty cheap nowadays if you want to get on a good discount. Maybe not the best television for video gaming. Great TV for movie watching though. Next, we're going to move on to another edition. This is new. This is the prototype Boba Fett helmet. So we're going with this whole Star Wars helmet motif. Prototype helmet, again, it's $120, whether you buy it on Amazon, Best Buy, or Hasbro itself direct. Pick it up there. This is the little IPORT launch port remote control. This just sits here just so I can control my lights. This is the Apple HomeKit light area. Is it the light area? No, the light area of the HomeKit. That just turns on and off the lights. You can do other stuff with it. You can do the Harmony and stuff like that with the Harmony app. Next up, we've got the Stormtrooper, the Black Storm, what is it? I forgot what it's called, but Stormtrooper helmet right up there. This is from The Mandalorian. It's the dude with the flamethrower. That's what that is. Slipping my mind right now, sorry. But those are the, the really small new additions that are done with the home theater. Now we're gonna go on to the audio portion of the home theater. This is what's gonna supply the audio portion in the dedicated room next door to it. This is new for 2020. Maybe a little bit overkill, but ever since we started doing the YouTube stuff, this is the secondary rack. This is what I call the review rack. You may have seen the video. We did a full tour of this rack, I think a couple months ago. This is the review rack, rack number 2. Up top here, we have an exhaust fan, which doesn't get used because everything's pretty much open. Everything in this rack actually is not mine. I don't own anything in this rack. Everything here is supplied for review samples. So it goes in here, I'll plug my speakers into it, I'll listen to it, and then I'll plug everything back into the normal stuff. Then everything comes out of the rack and goes back to the manufacturer. So instead of me pulling in and out my stuff out of my normal rack, it goes into this rack. So below the fan, we have a couple empty spaces here, which are free if I get something else in. But this is a CROWSON amplifier. I'm doing a review for some, they're kind of like butt kickers. They're seat actuators, very high quality. I don't know the price off the top of my head, but I know it's pretty expensive though. I think this is something like $1,000. So this amp powers the actuators that are in the seats in the theater right now. Below that, we have the AUDIOQUEST NIAGARA 5000. I got a link for this, a review for this, which I'll leave a link for it down below in the video's description or up top here or up there. One of the best sounding power conditioners that I've heard that's helped my music and soundtracks tremendously. Especially if you live in an apartment, this thing makes backgrounds very clear, keeps that background noise very quiet and silent. Any kind of humming or buzzing that I used to get, I no longer get it with the NIAGARA 5000. This is a nice piece, a little costly. I think it's something like $5 grand or something like that. I'm not going to go through all the prices for everything because I don't want to sound like in, you know, I don't want to go sound like I'm bragging or anything like that, but that is a little pricey. Below that, this is the ZAPPITI AUDIOCOM edition. I have a review up for the 4K Pro HDR edition. I'm still working on this review, but this is the AUDIOCOM version. This has some upgraded power supplies. This will give you a cleaner image over the standard version. Cleaner image overall. It's almost like having a veil lifted from the image. Hard to explain unless you're really here to see it. I've been struggling on how I can show that in video, but be on the lookout. The review will be coming. I'm going to compare this with the other version, the non-AUDIOCOM version. But this will play back all your MKVs, MP4s, MOVs, music files, MP3s, or if you have 4K ISO rips or regular standard Blu-ray ISO rips, this will play them back, also 3Ds. So great if you have a high-end home theater. Also ISF certified, mind you. Below that, I've got my keyboard. This is a Logitech keyboard. I do believe it's like 25 bucks. This is Bluetooth. This controls everything from the home theater PC. I use that not too often, but it's there if I need to check something. But underneath that, we've got the EMOTIVA Rethink High-End XMC2. This is what I consider to be one of the best affordable preamp processors out there right now. It's only $3,000. I have that if I want to compare it to something, you know, above it in a different price category, because I think this is kind of like the best where you can start at to get into separates, $3,000. Then you kind of go up from there. When you look at the other, what I have in the other rack, this is kind of like the stark opposite, ultra high end, and then entry level, but yet high end. XMC2, one of my favorites for sure. Below that, we have the EMOTIVA amplifier. We've got this whole EMOTIVA motif going here. This is the EMOTIVA XPA7, which is a 7-channel amp. Below that is the XPA5, which is a 5-channel amp. I've got the 7-channel one to power my lower 7 channels, and I've got the 5-channel one to power my Atmos high channels. You can check out the prices for these online on the website. I've got reviews for both of these also online as well. I'll leave links to that below also. Those, of course, I don't own. Those are just like review loaners. And below that, I do own this one. So there is something in this rack that I do own. This is the ROTEL 1075 THX certified amplifier. It is a 5-channel amp. It is rated at 120 watts per channel. I know these look like heat sinks, but they're actually not heat sinks. They are just made to look like heat sinks. Just there for design wise, but they do look cool though. Now moving over to my personal rack. I'm gonna speed through this because I kind of did a dedicated video on this earlier. But up top here, we just have your standard kind of power center. There's like 8 outlets in the back here. Powers a bunch of my hard drives, whatever. Below that is my HTPC. This is the same from last year. Home theater PC. This is like an i5. I've got a NVIDIA 950 in there. I don't use it much, but it'll play back all my movies, whatever movies I have on there. Below that is the Kaleidescape STRATOS. This is the, I think it's the 4 terabyte? No, I think it's the 12 terabyte version. The 12 terabyte. If I'm wrong with that, I'll put a little disclaimer on the screen. But this is the STRATOS. One of the most, I don't know, beloved or hated video players out there right now because it does cost a lot of money. A lot of people hate it because movies are like 36 bucks, 40 bucks, what have you, as opposed to just buying the physical media. People would rather just say, buy the 4K Blu-rays, why buy a Kaleidescape? But hey, if you've seen the user interface on this, it's super easy. Quality is just as good, if not better, than physical media. That's why that's there. And below that, this is the non-AUDIOCOM version of the ZAPPITI. Again, it lacks the upgraded power supplies to give it the cleaner picture, but you can, you know, put your own hard drives up there, up to 16 terabytes per bay. So it'll hold 32 terabytes inside the unit itself. And again, it is ISF certified for image quality. I know a lot of folks are saying that this being an Android device cannot supply a great picture. If it couldn't supply a great picture, it wouldn't be ISF certified. Great quality device. It's like straight aluminum. It's just like an Oppo 203, build-wise. Below that is probably the best player that you can still get right now for 4K Blu-rays. The best player that you can buy right now. You can't buy an Oppo anymore, so this is the next best thing, if not the best thing. This is the Panasonic UB9000 THX certified player, 4K Blu-ray. Has the best image processing. It's got the HDR optimizer. If you have a low-nit display, this thing will make it so you can see those peak highlights and great shadow detail with the HDR optimizer. That is the Panasonic UB9000. And below that, this is brand new for 2020. Going forward, this is probably going to be here for quite some time, so I guess get used to seeing it. This is the Trinnov Altitude 32. This is cream of the crop. This is end game status. I mean, if you're in the home theater and you just want to end your search, this is the piece that you're going to get. Yes, it costs the price of a brand new Jeep Wrangler or new vehicle, but this will do up to 32 channels. It's got like the best surround sound processing that I have heard personally. Upgradable to something like 48 or 64 channels if you wanted to. If you have a humongous house, this is going to do it for you. And that's just a premium feel. Mind you, this came out something like 2014, 2015, and it's still relevant today. We're into 2020, and it's still, I'm sure it's going to be still as relevant in 2021. So if you want the absolute best surround sound for your home theater, Trinnov, pick it up, just buy it. Buy once, cry once, you know? Isn't that what they say? Below that, we have the mini version power conditioner. We have the 5000 in the other rack. This is the 3000 in this rack. I don't have to explain what it does. It's a power conditioner. It's from AUDIOQUEST. I don't have to explain what it does. This is a power conditioner from AUDIOQUEST. And we have two other pieces here, which I would consider end game pieces as well. These are McIntosh amplifiers. This is what's powering all my speakers in the home theater. This top one here is a 5-channel amp. The one below it is a 7-channel amp. These are the new models for 2020. These are the MC255 5-channel, and then below it is the MC257. These are rated at per channel 200 watts per channel into 8 ohms and also 4 ohms. You get the lovely McIntosh lights here. Look at that. You can turn that on or off. That's a classic right there. That's just classic. I still have to do reviews on these guys and also the Trinnov, so be sure you stay tuned for that. But this is what I consider some end game pieces for me, at least anyways. I don't think I'm gonna deviate from any of these 3 pieces, either the pre-pro or the amplifier. So in subsequent videos, probably gonna be the same. But let's go on over and go to the theater, and I'll show you the changes that I made for this year. So let's do this. So we're gonna go over the new stuff in the theater. First being, well, this isn't new, but it's new software though. This is the LAUNCHPORT. LAUNCHPORT, you can install this on your wall. This is a inductive charging pad, which is also magnetic. You put it on your iPad. I think it goes up to like iPad 6 Gen. The last iPad Gen with the little home button. They need to come out with like a pro version of this. LAUNCHPORT, where's the pro version? It's been several years now. You guys haven't updated this. But this is an iPad. Instead of the Harmony app that I was using last year, let me just bump that up a little bit. I'm now using a ROOMIE remote. It's like $10 in the App Store. Whatever's on your network, this will just work. This, if I press the Kaleidescape, this will turn the Kaleidescape on. It'll turn on the projector, dim the lights down, turn off my accent lights, and it does everything through IP. So it's very reliable, unlike the Harmony and the Harmony Hub. This is just like, it just works. So solid for 10 bucks. There is kind of like a, I think a yearly fee that you got to pay for it. I think it's like 10 bucks for the app. I think it's something like an extra 30 bucks for a year to do, I don't know, like 20 devices or whatever. But it's like 10 bucks plus another 20 bucks, depending on how many devices you have. I think it's a solid thing, much better, more reliable than the Harmony. So check that out if you haven't checked it out already. Fair price. I feel it's a fair price for what it does. Below that, we have, this is a new addition. This is the Bowers & Wilkins CT 7.4. This is my right surround speaker. So what you're gonna see in the theater is now that I have 11 of these. I think when I did the original video back then, we had the Ascendo sound speakers. But this is now, we've now moved on to the Bowers. So I have 11 of these, 11 identical speakers as my left, center, right, side surrounds, back surrounds, and also my Atmos speakers. I got 4 Atmos speakers. These guys are, these are like the middle of the CT series. The CT series stands for Custom Theater. It's a matte black finish. They are ported, front ported, so you can mount them against the wall and the exhaust outwards. These are 6.5 inch mid-range woofs, inch silk dome tweeter, soft dome tweeter. Listen, it's a good sounding speaker, very good sounding speaker. Very neutral sounding speaker. More like a studio monitor than what I had earlier, which were the Ascendo sound speakers. The Ascendo sound speakers add a little bit of flavor on the top end. These ones definitely more rolled off sounding, not as, I'd say airy sounding, more direct, more like a studio monitor, like I said, more drier sounding. Sound is subjective, so I don't know. You might prefer the other ones, or you might prefer this kind of sound. Same thing here. This is the same matching speaker. I'm not going to go through all the speaker locations, but same speaker here. This is actually mounted on the wall. I picked up these mounting brackets from Amazon. So it's like an L bracket almost, but you can tilt it forward, you can move it left and right. I like it. I mean, it holds everything quite nicely. I'm sure you can buy a better quality one, but it mounts to the bottom of the speaker here. These particular speakers have mounting holes on the bottom, so this mounted to the bottom bracket, and it just right straight to the wall. And you can just, you know, turn it and swivel it if you want to. This is a recent new addition here. This is the MARTINLOGAN Balanced Force 212. If we check this out here, I'm just going to remove the grill. It's called 212 because it has dual opposed 12-inch drivers in this enclosure. It's a trapezoidal enclosure, which I would assume is made to keep the internal resonances away, which I would think. But one of the best, I'm still testing this out. One of my favorite sounding subwoofers so far, no doubt. It's something like 4,500 bucks. I don't see a lot of people talking about these subwoofers. I don't know why. This is a kick-ass sub. I've been living with the SVSs for so long that this is a great new addition to the home theater. It's for sure a different sound signature than what I'm used to. And look at that. You pop that glass top off here. You get the illuminated MARTINLOGAN logo, and then all your controls are here. I don't want to touch anything, and it's behind a smoked glass. Nice premium feel, nice premium top. I think that's glass. I'm not sure if it's glass or just really glossy paint. Awesome subwoofer. Check them out. You can check them out at your local dealer or like Magnolia Design Center, what have you. Over here we got the center channel again, same CT 7.4. This is the REL 1205 12-inch subwoofer. I have this here mounted underneath the center channel. Sometimes I put this on, sometimes I don't, depending on what profile I'm using. But I actually have this mated, crossed over with my center channel, just to give the center channel some extra oomph. to fill in some of those gaps that I might have in movie soundtracks. Some movies sound better with it, some movies don't. But that's there, my center channel sub. And over here, again, same matching speaker from the left, and then the matching left subwoofer, which is the same BALANCEDFORCE 212. Great subs. Another new addition that we got is the Salamander TALIA seating. This is like some fine Italian leather right here. These are handmade in Connecticut. I think it's Bristol, Connecticut. I could be wrong on that. If I am, I'll put in the correct location. But some of the softest, supple leather. This isn't like the other seats that I had previously. Like, this is legit real leather. Smells like leather, feels like leather, thick like leather. It's just nice. It's just real nice. What can I say? I did not get the powered seats because I wanted to go manual this time around, just in case the motor died or something like that. I mean, they're really expensive. I didn't want to pay the extra cost in case that motor died. But check it. The big thing about these seats, though, is why I picked them. Because the seat back, I think, is like 40 inches high. So if you were to sit down on them, your head is above the backrest. So if you want to hear your surround sound from your back speakers, your back speakers are not covered by the headrest. So that's a very important thing that I think a lot of folks do not take into consideration when they're buying seats, is the backrest height. So if you're really into surround sound and you want to hear those back speakers that you paid for, you should really have your ears free from hearing the stuff coming from behind you and also from the sides. But the cool thing is, if you see that this the backrest is kind of curved inwards a little bit, it's so that your back can kind of slide in there. You got a little bit of lumbar support. But if you do want to kind of tilt down a little bit, you can tilt down a little bit while you're reclined, and this can act as a nice little headrest there. So you have some good neck support. So there is some pretty good design cues in here. But the most important thing is that it is only 40 inches high. So that was the main thing that I wanted to do in this particular room. You might also see that I've only got one row of seating this time around. Last year I had 2 rows, so I wanted to give it more of a kind of like a personal screening area, more of like when I'm doing reviews and stuff like that. I wasn't having seats obstructing my back speakers. I wanted to have all my speakers at ear level. If you noticed, all my speakers, except for maybe my center channel, since the screen is there, is all kind of at the same level. They're all at ear level now. So the left, center, and right, surround channels, and also the back speakers, also same level. So when you're sitting down, they're at ear level. So you're getting all the lower channel levels coming at your ears at the same time. So you get the kind of like the best cohesive sound for surround sound, rather than having everything elevated. Again, so since I removed the back row, I got I put the PB16s back here. So they're back here now. Might look like they're aiming in an odd direction, but I played with many different placement options here, shooting them forward, putting the subs in the corners. But really the best way for me to get the most even sound was the placement like this. And I feel like this is the best way to get the best coverage with these particular subwoofers. So these are back here. These are taking place of the back seating that I used to have here from last year. Now it's just more of kind of like a more personalized space. I feel it's better sounding. The back row is freer to supply the back surround channels with better information. So it's easier to hear stuff going on behind your head, because now I have a better space between the back speakers and the front speakers. And yes, these are the same matching speakers as the rest. All right, so last year I did have the Sony projector. This is going to be new for this year. Well, actually, this is not new. This is the same projector screen from last year. This is the Stewart Film Screen Snowmat 100. I also have a review for that on the channel. I'll leave a link for that down below in the description. This is a 120-inch CinemaScope widescreen. So instead of it being 16:9, which would probably end about there, and right there, which would be 100 inches, CinemaScope makes it 120 inches, so you get a little bit more real estate on the left and right sides of the screen. But in order for that to work properly, you would need an anamorphic lens, which I have an older anamorphic lens, which is a Panamorph lens. So it's an HE lens, meaning it stretches horizontally rather than like the DCR lenses, which I do believe stretches vertically, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, what's projecting on the screen is the JVC NX7. You might be wondering, why did I go with the NX7 over the NX9, which is their flagship projector and also an 8K upscaling projector? Well, you got to keep in mind that this is like their first gen 4K projectors. As you know, you always don't want to go with the highest end first gen product, right? You might want to go with the second gen, maybe third gen. For me personally, and I think for the other folks, like Elias, who's shooting the video right now, I don't think we saw that much of a difference between the 9 and the 7 to make it a justifiable cost, almost double the cost. From my space, I felt the NX7 worked the best. It's got like some of the best black levels, super bright image, great punchy HDR. Coming from the Sony projectors, for me, I think it's miles better as far as brightness and contrast, just miles better. Let me see what else we got to cover. I mean, I moved the panels on the walls, a little bit different. I mean, anybody that wants to kind of quiet down echo and stuff like that, definitely put some panels on the wall. I mean, I think I did mention that I built these last year. Materials are pretty cheap. This is Guilford of Maine material. Something like 15 bucks for a few feet. I mean, I'll put a link for that as well. The wood used for this is, I think it's 2x1, no, 4x1, I do believe, poplar, which you can pick up at Home Depot, very cheap. And then Owens Corning 803 for insulation. So just build the frame out, 2 foot by 4 foot, drop the insulation in, cover it up with the fabric, and you're good to go. I think if you were to buy these pre-made, something like $400 or $500, right? When you can do it yourself for like, I don't know, maybe 99 bucks a panel, less than that, if that. I think the material, the insulation is like, you get 6 of them for like 100, 120 bucks. If you were to pick it up on Amazon, you could probably order it at like Home Depot or Lowe's for cheaper. But that's it, man. That's it. That's the entire thing. That's the tour. Hold on a second. The Atmos speakers, they're up top there. I got 4 of them, 4 Atmos speakers. Same thing. I mounted them myself. I used some chain and some little eye rings. What is it called? Little rings or something like that. They actually screw into the bottom of the speaker. The speakers have pre-made holes, and then you hook the chain to it, and the chain goes to the ceiling, and then you can angle it with the length of a different chain. And that's it. That's what I did. No special mounts needed for the Atmos speakers. So that is it. Now that is officially it. That's the whole entire home theater tour. I'm not going to give you the whole total price for everything. You guys can Google that. But I will be back next year again with a new tour. I don't know what's going to be different. I'm thinking I've kind of reached endgame status on a lot of the stuff that I wanted. The only thing that might be different is maybe a different size space. Maybe I'll be out of this apartment into a house. At least that's the plan. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what's in your home theater. Let me know what you think about these changes. Should I have gone a different direction in any way? Subwoofer, different speakers, different projector? Let me know your thoughts. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys again in the next video.